They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Happy 6-month anniversary of Stars in the House.
Yeah, that's right. I'm James Wesley. This is my husband, Seth Rudetsky. Welcome to Stars in the House. And this is indeed our 6-month anniversary.
We began Monday, March 16th, right after all theater stopped. Well, not just theater, and TV and film. And we knew that we knew artists were going to be struggling. And the Actors Fund helps any type, whatever you do in the arts, the Actors Fund will help you. So if you're on stage, off stage, in front of the camera, behind the camera.
Anywhere in the United States.
Anywhere in the United States. You'd be a wig maker, a box office personnel person, a stage manager, yes, actor, singer, dancer, but a voice teacher, whatever you do in the arts, you can go to the Actors Fund, say, I cannot pay my rent, my grocery bills, my health insurance. How do I get health insurance? They will help you. So you go to actorsfund.org if you need any kind of help. Or if you have friends that are struggling and they're like, what am I going to do? Direct them. If you can help, however, you donate at what?
You donate at starsinthehouse.com, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512, and then you will get a receipt from the Actors Fund, and you will forward that receipt to donations at starsinthehouse.com, and some cast members will read the donations aloud.
In character.
And listen, here's the exciting thing. Okay, so first off, you got to get ready because this is going to be a Stars in the House extravaganza celebrating our 6-month anniversary. Rachel Bloom, being the amazing producer that she is.
Oh my God, we already got donations.
Okay, of course we already have donations because the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend fans are amazing. So Rachel has mapped out the next 2 hours. Yes, I said 2 hours because there's so much to cover. And by the way, as I know most of you probably know, this is actually our very first TV reunion, or any reunion, Broadway show, whatever, where we've had part 2. Actually, Desperate Housewives we did it, but we didn't have the whole.
It wasn't the same people.
That's right. It was different. So this is like the first time we've actually had a full part 2 because there's so much to cover. So before we do, there's something really.
Business over with. First of all,
there's some business. Yeah. First off, go, Seth.
Yes, the census. We've had Black Theater United on the show almost every day for a month, telling people to fill out the census. It's still much lower than it should be. It's easy, guys. It literally takes 5 minutes. 2020census.gov. That will decide so many things. How much money your hospitals get, your schools. It just handles everything. There's no dangerousness in filling it out.
Right. Absolutely. And then
2020census.gov for our SiriusXM listeners.
That's right. And subscribe if you can to Stars in the House.
More than that. Just if you can. There's so many people watching right now. If you subscribe, it will really help us get big stars here in Stars in the House. Rachel Bloom said you have to have a minimum of 10 subscribers before she would set foot on our show. But anyway, please subscribe because it really helps us get big stars.
So before we bring Rachel on, we're going to reach, I know, because the Crazy Ex-Girlfriends fans gave so much money last time, and tonight we have a matching donation. Someone who will match dollar for dollar the amount raised, and our total.
We're so close.
Went on today. We're so close. $482,070 raised for the Actors Fund. We're only $18,000 away from that $500,000 mark.
$500,000.
And there are donations that have already come in, so please help make that happen. Seth, bring on.
Well, first I'm going to bring on Kat because she's going to read the donations I just sent them.
Oh, amazing.
So, Kat, tell everybody who you are and then read your lovely donations. Hi, Kat.
Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm Kat. I'm the choreographer of this fantastic show. I feel such pressure being first. Hi, y'all. Thanks for having us.
You need your focus up. I need your diction proper, your placement right in the mask. Hit it. Yeah.
Choreographers are really good at all those things you just mentioned. I have not received the secret text message that with the donations. I would read it because I can read, I promise.
I think I sent it to the wrong number after all my babbling. Okay,
Someone else is wondering why the hell I'm getting donations from that.
I'm going to try one more time. Yeah. It's so hard.
This is a great start, I feel like. But congratulations to y'all. 6 months. That also is a reminder of how long we've been in this. 6 months. True. Got it.
Got it. Yes.
Okay, I just sent it again. Is that you, please God, or is it a different cat?
That'd be awkward. I got it. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Yay! Here we go. First donations rolling in. Dan from North Carolina, $5. Rachel from Ohio, $51. Madeline from Dallas, hey Dallas, $10. Adriana from Boston, $18. And she says, thank you for the gift that is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Well, thank you, Adriana. Lori and May, $103, very specific. Kaylee from Pittsburgh, $10. In memory of Adam Schlesinger, thank you for continuing to support artists in this time of need. Thank you, Kaylee. And Michelle from Brooklyn, $25. She says, thank you for your time and bringing joy to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend fans during this time. Well, thank you all for joining us. And thank you for the donations. Did I do good? Was that it? I'm good.
Let's bring on Seth. What do we have? What's
Someone just
happening
asked how to donate. And I'm just posting it.
All right.
Okay, bring everybody on. You go.
Yes. So Rachel Bloom, who's responsible for all of this. Let's bring on Rachel Bloom.
Woo!
We are already 2 minutes behind time according to your schedule. Don't worry, we'll catch up.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Wait, sorry. I'm looking at my own lighting, and I'm like, this isn't good. Oh, sorry. It's already,
I know.
Can you bring? Sorry. Thank you.
And Aileen.
Sorry.
Hi, Gregor.
I was going to bring you some eye drops because I put on mascara that's too old.
Oh, no.
Well, what? Fans?
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Okay, we're gonna bring on Aileen. Hi, Aileen.
Hey.
Hi, how are you? Yay! My inner theater child is so happy right now.
Thank you.
So because we have not just the people watching the live stream, but also people listening on SiriusXM, can everyone just say who they are and what their role was with the show?
I think Jack is going to join us shortly.
Hold on, let me get Jack's here.
Not according to the schedule, and it's there it is, Jack. Yes.
So Jack Dolgan. Okay. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
So I just want to say that 2 of the pronunciations have been wrong so far. And I'm going to correct them for the people.
We're going to introduce ourselves, so we'll figure it out.
You're right.
So my name is Aline Brosh McKenna, and I co-created Crazy Ex-Girlfriend with Miss Rachel Bloom, whose videos I found online. And we did 62 episodes of television together. And I'm very happy to, everybody introduce themselves, but I'm very happy to start off talking about Adam today.
Hold on a second. We've only introduced Rachel, Kat, and Aline. So
no, I guess I said Jack's name wrong, right? Rachel?
Jack, you introduce yourself, Jack.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just happy to be known in any way, even if it's wrong. It's Dolgen.
Who are
Jack
you?
Dolgen. My name is Jack Dolgen. You can call me Peter. And writer, executive producer, director, and songwriter on the show.
Okay, I believe that.
Kat.
Is that good?
Kat is a choreographer, but choreographer with a K, choreographer. And Rachel Bloom is the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, co-creator, this, that, and everything. Bye-bye, Rachel. Okay, Rachel, for our SiriusXM listeners, she just left, but it's all good.
No, sorry, my dog was barking to get out. I planned so well, but this house is chaos. Okay.
Way it goes.
Thank you for having us, Seth and James. I'm new on this one. I missed the last one, so I'm happy to be here. And this is really cool what you're doing.
Well, we love the show, and we love the Actors Fund. So we want to talk about Adam, and if people don't know, Adam passed away, one of the really earlier deaths, sadly, from COVID-19, and it's that whole thing where it's quote-unquote shit got real. People really realize that it's a real thing, and it's deadly. Who hooked up with Adam first, Rachel? Did you know about his work? How did he come to the show?
So Adam I knew him for about 25 years. He was my husband's roommate in New York.
Oh, wow.
So I met him in the very early 90s when he was just, starting Fountains of Wayne. And he lived with my husband, and my husband was sort of there in the radio bar when they were writing the lyrics to the first Fountains of Wayne record. So I've known him for a very long time.
Wow.
And as we sort of grew up, I kind of kept tabs on him, and he kept tabs on me, and we knew what we were doing in each other's careers. And I watched as he sort of, he blossomed outside of just doing the rock star stuff. I mean, he had 2 bands. For those of you who don't know, he had Fountains of Wayne and Ivy, had 2 successful bands. Did Broadway, did Crybaby, wrote That Thing You Do, and wrote many, many great award show comedy songs. And so when we had done the pilot and Jack and Rachel did the music, for the pilot with another gentleman named Jerome. And we knew we needed somebody to do 2 to 3 songs per episode when the show, went. And so I said, look, I know Adam Schlesinger. And it was very much Jack who was like, wait, what? You know Adam? And I said, yeah. And he was like, Lynne, if you can get that guy, please get that guy. And so Adam is one of the things that I really love to share about him. He was the most sort of open-minded to collaboration of any person I've ever met. Like if he was a fan of yours, he was so excited. He didn't care how famous you were or how rich you were or any of that. He just was excited about people he thought were talented. So we met in my office and he met Rachel and Jack and he had already seen their stuff and he was so positive and excited. And, from the first day was like such a great collaborator. And the funny thing was I'm not a songwriter, and when I had not made a show like this, no one had made a show like this. And so Adam always used to say that the reason that there were 2 or 3 songs per episode was because I didn't realize how difficult it was. Like I had no idea. I was just like, well, we did 2 songs from the pilot. We'll just keep doing that. And I think Adam loved the kind of kamikaze aspect of it. And he really, the thing that for this audience, for this show, like Adam really, really loved musicals, even though he was like a cool rock star guy who had worked with all these like cool rock bands and like was kind of a hipster himself. He really loved musicals and he was a fan of all types of music. And the really incredible thing about it was how fluent he was in so many different genres. And so, wow. Yeah, and so many different styles. So it was such a gift to bring him and Jack and Rachel together. And then they really, pretty quickly formed this songwriting collective that was extraordinary. I mean, it's 157 songs over 62 episodes, which is just an incredible tonnage of music, song after song after song. And Adam produced all the music with his partner, Stephen Gold. So he also produced all of those songs and he had a hand in writing almost every song. Wow. So it was such an incredible accomplishment. And he was incredibly humble in certain ways, incredibly outspoken in other ways, and just a real character. And because we've been all locked in, it doesn't feel real to me. It feels like he's there. And I'm sure for other people who have lost people in this time, like it feels so possible to me to like pick up the phone and call him and text him. And I think my heart goes out to the many, many other people who have lost loved ones in this time, because, in addition to just the sheer loss, just the idea that he's not there at the other end of these electronic, means of communication is something that, I'm still struggling with. But what a gift and what a joy the time that we had with him.
Wow. It's devastating and it's also amazing. So just the way you describe what he did, it's unbelievable because the level of the songs, it was never like 2 throwaway ones, 1 funny one. They were all at this crazy high level. Who was like the stickler? Who was the one out of you that was like, that's not funny. You got to do it again. Like who out of you was like, one more time?
I don't know what you think, Rachel, but I think we rotated. We shared that role. It would sort of rotate around. There was never a situation in which it wasn't someone.
Yes.
It was always someone.
Yeah, someone was always pushing someone to do better. We had a brain trust of 3 of us writing the songs and then Lynne like also giving opinions on the songs. So like there was really like a kind of fail safe of 4 different people. And I think one of the many reasons the songs are so high quality, other than Adam being just like a genius, and Jack will attest to being able to produce the producing every genre alone is a skill very few people have. But it had to go through 4 people, and I think that like it's you had 4 people not only brainstorming songs but also giving a second opinion on songs, and a third opinion and a 4th opinion, which was great because a lot of times when someone wrote a song, we weren't all together to hear it at once, which was actually great so that you could get a bunch of outside eyes on the song. And I think that's why, at least we hope, the comedy and the quality stayed at such high levels.
I mean,
there's plenty of songs, just to say, there's plenty of songs that aired that are probably the third, fourth, fifth, sixth song that was written for that slot. So there were often as many songs as aired. There was probably 2 or 3 times that many that were written. Maybe not that many, but
go through various versions. And then, there were a couple times where Adam turned in a melody for something, like maybe lyrics had been worked on or discussed or whatever, and Adam would, finish the song and send it in with a melody. And there were a couple times where I reached out to him and said, "This is so beautiful and so special and such a hit song. Are you sure you want to give it to our comedy show? Are you absolutely sure you don't want to stick this in your pocket and save this for I don't know, actual Celine Dion instead of a parody of Celine Dion?" But he just was so generous and such a fountain of creativity. And I think that's the thing that we were always very inspired by, was he could do this, he could do that. He had a prodigy. And he always did. When I knew him, even as a young man, he just was somebody that people talked about, he's so talented and he can do anything and he can work with anybody. So he really was, he was so excited to collaborate with people. And I know that for Rachel and Jack, when Adam really loved something that the group came up with, that was a really joyful, and I miss hearing his laugh from the other room, because when he really loved something, it was just great sign of approval when Adam laughed really hard.
Can I ask something? Because, people use terms that I think insiders know, but others don't. So when you say produce a song, because someone produces on Broadway, produces the movie, I assume I know what you're talking about, but can you describe what it means to produce the songs?
Jack, you want to?
Yeah. So for the purposes of the show, let's say Rachel wrote a song on her own, and she composed it maybe on piano. And so she had a piano and lyrics and vocal, maybe she recorded that on her iPhone or something. So that would be the songwriting. Then the music producer's job, in our case, Adam's job, was to take that and make it a professional recording. So it might need orchestration, in which case he would be, overseeing the arranging of that orchestration. Sometimes he would arrange it. Sometimes we have arrangers also. Or it might be a song that was drums, bass, keys, guitar. And so he would make that happen, literally produce that track. Sometimes that meant he would play all the instruments, or he would have other people play them, but he was basically in charge of creating the audio recording of the song and all the way through to the vocal. So having Rachel then come in and into the vocal booth, and he would produce the vocal session, or you might think of it as directing the vocal session. So that's what it was for.
One thing that maybe is interesting for people is we never dubbed a vocal. Every single person who sang on our show sang. And one of the reasons for that was that Adam was able to produce kind of anyone's vocal, from somebody who was a very experienced singer to someone who was not. So he was able to make everybody sound amazing.
We're going to show one of the songs before we go into our next segment. This is one of the many theme songs that he wrote that you guys wound up not using.
Which one are you going to? Which one should we play, Rachel?
How do you have that?
Those of you who attended last Stars in the House, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, I had played some excerpts from a show that we did at a theater called Largo in Los Angeles, and we did a night where we talked about the evolution of the season 3 theme songs, where I talked with Jack and Lynne and Adam, and read aloud some email exchanges on stage.
It's very traumatic night.
It was one of the worst nights of, I think, Jack's life, certainly. But I played a bunch of demos. So this is something I didn't get to play last time. This is an unused season 3 theme song.
Right. And this is the Beyonce one. It says Beyonce season 3.
Well, let's play it. We'll
see what it is. Hit it.
Okay, so this is kind of in that Beyonce mode, irreplaceable. Oh, God. Yeah, we can skip that one. Maybe you thought when you left me, I would be strong, I'd be fine. Well, baby, you must not have met me, 'cause fine is not a trait of mine. I'm too unstable. I'm gonna smash a chair on the table. I'm gonna spiral out of control, and then I fall deep into a hole of confusion and sadness. And baby, be glad this isn't something you're around to see, 'cause one thing you might not know about me, I'm kinda unstable.
Great.
I gotta play another one.
Oh.
This is yet another one.
He sent over some new songs. Play the next one.
I've been dragged around and pushed aside, beaten down. I've lost my pride. Should I heal the pain that cuts like a knife and just move on with my life? No. I'm gonna implode, spiral out of control. I'm setting out on a mission to make only terrible decisions from here on out. I'm in self-destruction mode. I'm gonna implode.
All hits.
All hits.
All hits. Yeah. So the season 3. So I had done that show because the season 3 theme song was by far the most contested song that we ever did on the show.
We did probably 20 some versions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing is like sometimes it was definitely one of the things where we would be doing it and then Jack, Adam, and I'd be like, we love this. And Lynne was like, no.
It was really, because the thing is, it had to be really, of the 157 songs, those are all songs that 4 people were like, yeah, thumbs up. But the theme songs, like we did a theme song every season. For no reason, no one asked us to do it. The network didn't want us to do it. We spent a shit ton. Oops, sorry. We spent a lot of money doing it. Especially season 3, we spent a lot of money on that. And it was optional. So it was like, oh, you had like crazy people, us arguing and trying to find the song, but a task that was set out by no one. So Adam would frequently just go home like that and come up with a whole new demo, but he hadn't talked to anybody about it or pitched it to anyone. And so, but he was like a constant wellspring of ideas. And that was one of the things that I think was so inspiring. And also for, he's my age, Rachel and Jack are younger, and he was my age. And I think to see somebody a little older who was like in there scrapping, like, as hungry and as ambitious as the young folks was really inspiring.
I'm not gonna be like that when I'm older. I'm already less like that now.
You're already exhausted.
I can't. It's exhausting. We wrote enough songs. No more songs.
I mean, Jack and I were writing together season 4 in my office because it was often that like Jack and I were always around the studio to write. Like Adam was kind of back and forth from New York, and he was working on a track to produce, and so sometimes Jack and I would be writing together, just the 2 of us. And numerous times in season 4, I turned to you or you turned to me and went, "What if the show wasn't a musical anymore? What if we stopped? No one think it's not called Crazy Ex-Musical Girlfriend. We're doing this."
But you also bring up something really great about Adam, which was, when he came onto the show, they asked me, does he live in LA? And I was like, yeah. And the truth is that Adam was a very devoted parent. And so he went back to New York a ton. So the fact that he was doing as much work as he was for him, I really never even asked him where he was half the time, but he was so devoted to his daughters. And so he was always going home, tried not to miss any of their major landmarks and milestones. And he was a very involved father. So that was one of the reasons he was bi-coastal, and it worked great for us because he was always reachable. So I just want to also shout out to his daughters because they're wonderful.
Aline, I hope I wrote down your right phone number. I just sent you donations. Did you get them to read?
Maybe you should read aloud her phone number.
Just 3, 1.
Oh my God. All right. Yes, I'm going to read these wonderful donations. This is so exciting. Lisa from Tennessee, who gave $25, says, in honor of a life-changing show and the beautiful souls that created it and brought it to life, I am eternally grateful for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Blam. Katrina from Rochester also gave $25. Elia, same. No other show has ever filled me to the brim with joy as this show has. I hope my donation can at least buy you guys a few bottles of water or some box wine. Wink, wink. That's very nice, Elia. All the money is going to folks who actually need it. We don't.
It's not going to us.
Yeah. Nick from Missouri is giving $51. Thank you, Seth and James, for bringing Crazy Ex-Girlfriend cast back. What a great 49th birthday gift. Happy birthday, Nick from Missouri. Allie gave $10. Melissa from White Plains. I find myself singing period sex under my breath randomly throughout the day, whether I actually have my period or not. And
Same.
And finally, we have Tori from California who gave $75. I want to give a shout out to the entire CXG team. I've watched the show 5 times. Whoa, twice in quarantine, and it's gotten me through some really tough times long before we were all trapped inside. So thank you. So you can see the fans of the show are extraordinary, wonderful people, very generous. Truly, the fan base of the show has been what a revelation.
Aline, we got before you and Jack go. There was a fan question that I thought was really good from Carol Lisk. Everyone has different crazy names that are online. For the creators, during the concept stage, how would you have defined your target audience? And now, how would you describe the types of people who wound up being the biggest fans?
I love this question. I wrote this question down as well. I love this question.
I mean, our target audience was me and Rachel.
Yeah, that's all we could really do was write the show that we really wanted to see, because also we wrote it by the time we wrote it and pitched it in mid-late 2013, and then it went on the air a year and a half later in 2015, by which point TV was a different landscape. We wrote it as TV was changing really, really quickly, and I don't even think peak TV was a term when we first started brainstorming it in 2013. So we weren't like, let's create a peak TV show. We were just like, let's create a thing. So I think the target audience ended up being the people that we would have dreamed, which is just smart people. That's who I find likes the show is smart people.
I mean, when we did live concerts, and which is something Adam loved so much doing, he loved touring, he loved playing shows in front of all of the Crazy Ex fans. And I think that was one of the coolest things about playing shows is that is seeing all the fans, seeing faces, and everyone, it just looked like people. I don't know. It was just like all different people and everyone smiling.
I quickly want to say, so I did musical theater in high school, may have played Louise and Gypsy, sang out of tune, whatever. But I really had not performed really since then. And Rachel is my stage mother and I was always trying to shove me forward on stage. So the next time after high school that I performed was with Rachel and Jack and Adam at Lincoln Center. That was the next time I performed. And truly, the only reason I was able to do it was because the three of them were looking at me like, I got you. But Adam was literally accompanying me. And there was no snobbery. There was no just full support. He was so excited. We had a lot of people perform in our shows who either hadn't performed before, including our editor. Like, he just was so excited to support people. And when I was on stage with him, because I also did Radio City, I mean, this is like, for someone who has not been on stage since she was 17, it was a big deal. And he was always there behind me, adjusting to the unusual rhythms that I might find in the song I was performing. And that really,
come on. You were great. There was never we didn't have to adjust.
But that epitomizes his, he really had the, in his own way, he wasn't quite the theater kid in the same way, but he was a really everybody pick up an instrument and let's go down to the fire pit and play. He just wanted to involve everyone. And I think everyone who ever played in those live shows whether they had no experience or tons of experience, felt so loved and welcomed and embraced. And gosh, there's just so many things I'll miss about him. But that spirit of like, we're all big, one happy family. Let's all perform and then let's go find some place to drink and eat food. I really will miss that.
Wow, I feel like I really got to know him through this segment. Thank you, guys.
I actually have another question. We're just an Adam question that I'd love to have Jack and Aline help me answer. We talked about it a little bit last time, but what do we think was Adam's favorite song of the show, and which one did he have the hardest time writing? I mean, I remember him jokingly saying, but I don't think it was a joke, that he loved the song "Duh."
Yeah,
he did.
Which is Josh Chan having a realization. Like, I straight up remember one of his daughters being in the office and seeing "Duh" on the board and was like, "Dad, that's your favorite song." He loved "Duh."
I think his favorite song was "Done." That's done.
Yeah,
that was his favorite type of song. He worked so hard, and I don't think, I spent a lot of time talking to Steven, who had been his producing partner, and I didn't really realize until he passed away, like when he sent those demos to us, he was so excited to hear what we were thinking and nervous, and partly it's because he was waiting to hear how much work he had left, and whether it had gone there or not, or whether we had notes or not. And so I don't know that I totally appreciated until I spent more time talking to Steven, like how much he took the work to heart. I knew how hard he had worked, but he really, really took it to heart. And there's definitely songs that I know he had a soft spot for, and he always performed What'll It Be live, and I will forever associate that with him, especially because early on when we were first working on the show, that was a demo that came in that song had been in different versions, and then Rachel and I were standing in her office and he just sent in the demo and we listened to it and Rachel was like, that's it. That's the song, and he did that a number of times. But he was so unprecious and unsentimental about his own work. And my God, if you really wanted to make him cringe, start praising him, because he would dive under the carpet. And the other thing is, because he was kind of famous and well-known, he was also a really shy guy. And I remember really early on, we went to a party and Adam kind of sat at Rachel's elbow the whole night like he was her kid brother, because he didn't know everybody and he was a little shy. And that combination of being like a big star, but also like kind of a shy kid was really, really special.
There was one little moment that only one that I ever experienced with him where he was like kind of cocky. And it was, I can't remember exactly the song, but there was a drum fill, and I knew he had programmed the drums on the computer. So they weren't played. They were played on the keyboard or programmed, right? And I was like, Adam, this drum fill on this song, it's like the kind of thing that, it's a geeky music producer-y kind of compliment. Like, this drum fill is amazing. Like, that's fantastic drum fill. And he goes, yeah, I'm the best. And he wasn't joking, but that was it.
He loved, I think his favorite song is one of the season 3 rejected songs that became the song Scary, Scary, Sexy Lady.
Oh, that's right.
Which was almost the theme song for season 3, which is a song called I Hope Your Penis Falls Off.
My God. Guys, he campaigned so hard for that. I would walk by him and he would try and convince me continually.
That was almost the theme song for season. I mean, that was very, very close to being the season 3 theme song. It just only worked with half the season. We almost made, at least in my head, we almost made half the season 3 theme song, I Hope Your Penis Falls Off, which was basically the song Scary, Scary, Sexy Lady, but it went, I hope your penis falls off, because that would probably hurt the way you hurt me. I hope you drown in medical waste. Toxic like your kiss, but most of all, I hope that someone says they love you and you finally feel complete and they abandon you and then your penis falls off. So that was almost the theme song for half of the season, and then we would have done another one for the second half of the season when she's getting better, but then we decided against it. But I hope your penis falls off. I think he was very proud of.
Well, that's a great way to end the segment.
It's also my audition song. All right, thank you
I
guys.
just want to thank you guys for giving us time to talk about Adam, because in this time of not having a memorial in the same way, we haven't had as much of a chance also to talk to the fans about him, and I think they know how important he was and continues to be for us. So thank you so much for giving us some time to give him a little memorial here.
Wow, what a genius. Thank you both, Jack and Aline.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to see the rest of the cast soon. We're doing our special segment.
Right now, we're going to make room for Lucy Duckworth for the Pole Hero Project. And Rachel, you're going to take it away. So we're going to get off.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So Lucy, tell us about what you do.
Yeah, of course. So the Pole Hero Project is an initiative to sign up young people, Gen Z, to work the polls this November. Poll workers can be something we take for granted. They're the people who are there to make sure our ballot goes through. But a large majority of them tend to be on the elderly side. And because of COVID, a lot of them don't feel comfortable showing up at the polls this year. And we saw a lot of people drop out in the primaries, and that caused some problems. When there aren't people to run the polls, polling places don't stay open. So it's our goal to get young people to sign up, to take their place, to step up and take that responsibility, and work the polls this November.
That's amazing. So how can people get involved with this?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, polehero.org, and we have a sign up there. Yeah, there it is. It's on the banner. It'll take you less than 30 seconds, and you can sign up, and we'll coordinate you anywhere within the United States. And we'll have someone that makes sure you finish the process, start to finish. Signing up and doing these government jobs can be a little bureaucratic sometimes. We want to make sure, especially for young people, that they actually complete the whole process, and that's what we're here to do.
What would you say to those youngins out there who are like, ugh, my vote doesn't matter, in that voice?
I would say that it does matter, and that you don't even have to be 18. You don't even have to be eligible to vote. We have seen so much political activism, and it's really exciting, I think, among young people within the last few months. This is one of the ways you can actually make a direct impact. This is one of the ways you can actually, do a concrete action, make concrete change. And I think that, it totally matters that you can help other people make a difference, even if you yourself are not old enough.
That's so cool that that's a way to get involved, because I know before I was eligible to vote, I felt very frustrated that there was nothing I could do, that my kind of political awareness was burgeoning, but I was powerless. So that's really, really cool. What question do you wish that I'd ask you?
I wish you'd ask me, do you make any money? And then I would say, yes, you make money. You make money. You do make money. And especially, for a teenager, you make between $100 and $300 for one day of work, depending on where you live in America. It's a lot of money. And especially when you're going to school, it's a Tuesday that you probably have off. I totally encourage you to sign up and to show up, not just to support democracy, but to make a little cash as well.
That is so cool. Seth and James, is there anything that I've been remiss in talking to Lucy about?
I just want to make sure people know it is a job. So young people, you can definitely make money. It is a job. Second of all, you don't have to be 18. It goes down to some states you could be 16 years old, right? You can't be allowed to vote, but you can actually work a poll. So you can make money. And we have some amazing gifts coming up to kind of keep incentivized. So if you sign up for polehero.org, we're going to have ways for you to enter things.
Well, it's already on their website, polehero.org. So Lucy, do you know any that we've gotten already?
Are we allowed to reveal them?
I can't be too sure, but there are some goodies. There are some brands who are working with us. So, making money, you're protecting democracy, and you might get a goodie bag. So, yeah.
Well, let me say, you can hang out virtually with somebody from Hamilton. You can hang out virtually with Miranda Sings. If you know Miranda Sings, I'm obsessed with. And a lot more. So sign up at polehero.org, help democracy, make some money. Thank you, Lucy, for what you're doing. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Thank you, Lucy.
Such a great thing to do, man.
Oh, my gosh.
I absolutely would have done that in high school.
Right?
I'll go out on a limb and say any high schooler who doesn't do this is selfish and terrible.
It is, but you know what? It is democracy's at stake, and I really believe that these students can do that.
I really think they can, but I also just to say, like, if you're immunocompromised out there, as someone with an immunocompromised person in the form of a 6-month-old child, I have been a hermit, and I feel guilty about it in some ways. And so shout out to my fellow hermits. I just don't want to like immuno shame anyone out there.
Okay. So everyone understand that.
It's such an amazing
I
expression.
had my first White Claw ever. I've never had White Claw before. It got big when I was pregnant.
Oh.
So now I'm finally having White Claw because I pre-pumped. You can have it's a whole thing with breast milk. Anyway, so I'm halfway through a White Claw. So I'm feeling
well, and you're only a third of the way through the show. So we got
let's move on. So
yes.
Originally I was like, there are so many more cast members than we had on last time. And there are so many more than I couldn't that like if I had it on every cast member we loved, it would be thousands of people. But there are so many cast members I wanted to have on. And originally I just wanted to fit everyone on the same screen, which is a little bit cacophonous. So I broke it down into kind of like different groups of people. So let's welcome back, first of all, we're going to talk about dance. And Aline, if Aline wants to come back for this, and if Jack want to come back because we're going to talk about musical numbers. Okay, they're not coming back. Okay.
They're pissed off. Hey, by the way,
okay, they're
check your phone for a second. I just sent you
donations. Some donations? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to realize some donations first, and then I'm going to introduce some people to come on and talk about themselves, but also about the art of dance. We have Christine from Florida, $25. Kate from Connecticut, $25. Thank you, CEG, for giving me the strength to get help for my own mental illness while entertaining and making me laugh every week. Love to you all. # girl group forever. Thank you. Colleen from Boston, $10. Love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend so much. Was an honor to see you guys perform live in New York City last year. Congrats, Seth and James, on 6 months. Indeed. Aww. Jacqueline from Kansas, $25. You all bring joy to my life. Thank you. Sarah from Baltimore, $20. Thank you for all the magic. Tara from Michigan, $25. When I was diagnosed with BPD, my psychiatrist thought I would take it poorly, but instead I started laughing and instantly went, that's why I relate to Rebecca Bunch. Sorry, to be read, that's why I relate to Rebecca Bunch. Thank you so much for educating and making me laugh about a very difficult time of my life. Tara, that's amazing. You're awesome. And then Christy from Brooklyn, $25. Happy to do anything in celebration of the show. Saw them at Radio City and sat in the third row and danced with Kat and Vincent at the Broadway Dance Center. Love you guys.
Well, that's a perfect segue too, Rachel, for the people you're introducing.
I would love to bring back on Emmy-winning choreographer, 2-time Emmy-winning choreographer, Ms. Catherine Burns, whose classes you can virtually take online at Broadway Dance Center, among many other places. I would like to bring on basically the center of the show, Josh Chan himself, Vincent Rodriguez III.
There we go.
Vinny.
Hey guys, hey y'all. What's up?
Look at this like at-home studio setup. I'm a mess. And finally, what to say? I don't know, there's so much to say about her. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Ms. Gabrielle Ruiz.
Oh my God, Rachel, how do you like my home studio?
Are you at home or are you at
No, I'm not at home. I'm not at home. I'm not at home.
Yeah. Guys, let's talk about dance.
Let's talk about dance. Let's talk about 5, 6, 7, 8.
How have you guys all been keeping up with your dancing skills in the core time?
We've been not. So
I have been. No, I've been dancing.
Yeah, Kat,
Vinny's been dancing. Well, it's been fun. I mean, everyone was teaching online dance classes, and these dancers going through these times, it's really, really hard. I mean, spoiler alert, dancers don't make a ton of money. And then when this pandemic happened and you can't perform live and you can't perform on television shows and you can't do Broadway, but everyone was turning to dance and moving in their spaces and dancing in the kitchen, dancing in the living room. So eventually I got on that train and taught some Crazy Ex-Girlfriend combos, which have been awesome. I'm going to teach I'm So Good at Yoga next. Gabrielle's debut dance that won an Emmy, of course, because she's a queen. And then Vinny, a boy band of 4 Joshes, we taught last week. whatever. And so Vinny's been like coming and like chatting with the fans in the chat. And it's just been so nice to give back to this wonderful community, which obviously are super supportive and amazing. And dancing just gets some of that anxiety out. So dancing and crying, but I prefer, or you can dance, cry, that's the thing.
Kat, out of all your cast people, who was the one that picked up, close your ears, who picked up the steps the fastest? And who
Pete? Yes.
TVP. Captain.
TVP.
TVP. Television's Pete Gardner.
If you're watching, Pete, you should come on and weigh in on the dance if you're here.
Sorry, I interrupted your double question.
Well, I don't know if I believe that answer. And I guess my question is, who had to do remedial stay after rehearsal dance pickups?
Also Pete, yeah.
Okay.
He always got the spirit right away. I like to lead with the choreography leads with spirit. Steps come later, Kat,
what's the piece of choreography you're proudest of as far as the most hilarious piece of choreography you came up with on the show?
Oh, that's a good one.
I actually I tried to submit this for the Emmys this past year and they requested maybe I don't. It was Period Sex Live for the live show. I really thought the pad choreography was next level.
It was an honor.
And I couldn't believe we were really doing it, and it was really televised. And but it's an interesting thing to talk about. All women, if you're lucky, go through some menstruation, and you might as well dance about it.
Sexily, super sexily too, full on corset, black leggings, and then pad. Outside our crotch. And I was literally sitting in the dressing room with, hoisted legs up and open.
I have video.
And we were all trying to figure out which tape worked best that also was flexible, but also when I started sweating, it wouldn't come off. So to get the full effect for the best show possible.
You and Vella were beautiful bookends.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful period bookends.
Hold on, Rachel.
Hey, we've got Mikhail Baryshnikov here.
Hold on.
Hello.
Had to bring him on.
TVP.
What's going on? How are you?
Pete, I realize we're talking about.
I'm in the studio. What's going on?
The bottom three are very studio. Top three are very at home. I kept a fig tree alive, so that's good. A fiddle leaf fig.
Fresh.
Pete, why is your microphone so soft-spoken?
Oh no.
TVP knows how to project. He's done the theater. He's done the live.
White wine vinegar.
Throw the voice, Pete. Throw it. Just throw it.
Mama.
What do you there it is.
Great. You sound good.
I just got out of the shower.
Sexy.
You look great.
It's a nice hat.
Pete, why are you? I'm so sorry. I should have had you on here originally because you're the show's dance captain. Can you tell us why you're the show's dance captain and why dance is your life?
Why dance is my wife? Because
life.
Oh, life. No, I think that it's just because I felt like Kat needed a little boost. I felt like she just needed the support, and I just wanted to be there for her. And so I just dove in, and all of a sudden I discovered I really had a gift for it.
Wow.
And I had never danced before.
Wow.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. And, sometimes I would have workshops for people that weren't necessarily in the cast, but just people off the street. And I just felt like it completed me.
Well, Pete, you never danced before, but will you ever dance again?
Probably not. I did a little workout. Kat Burns does this, what's that called? Broadway
Dance Center. Broadway Dance Center.
Broadway Dance Center. And I did one of those the other day or a couple weeks ago. And it killed me. And I
Broadway's
was like,
hard.
what was I even thinking?
Broadway's really hard, Pete.
Broadway's hard.
You did great.
I tried to be on Broadway for 10 years.
It's not so hard. It's super easy. They make you look good. One of our actors told us one time that don't worry about it, Pete. They'll make you look good. But
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's what editing is for. Wait, Vinny, you've never done a Broadway show?
No. That's what's kind of funny about it's so ironic. It's like my little ironic story of my my little kid dreams of, speaking of Broadway dreams, Lynne was talking about her stage experience, but I wanted to be on Broadway when I was a kid. And so that's why I was in New York, was to be on Broadway. And I never really got there, but Rachel Bloom and Lynne Brosh McKenna cast me in Crazy X. And I was like, bye, I'm moving to LA. And I got to live my Broadway dreams on set. And it was amazing. I'm kind of still like, what? How'd that happen?
Also, really, like, you know this, I've told you, like, no one cares that you haven't been on Broadway. And most people think you have been on Broadway. Like, no one knows the difference. Broadway
apparently
knows what I'm saying.
But I'm
like,
with you.
I do, but
You're so good. What show did you get really close to and not get, so I could be traumatized?
A few. Shrek, Mary Poppins. I went in for Hamilton twice. Anything Goes, Broadway Company. But yeah, I just love musicals, and that's one of the things that made me. I don't know how it all worked, but man, like, to be on Crazy X, where we like Rachel, like the purity of the musical theaterness of the show, and then Kat, when you brought all the comedy and the fun and the shenanigans, and TVP, our strong dance captain.
Technique.
I mean, like
mostly technique. Yeah,
he has the jacket
and spirit and spirit.
It's legit, and you have to do that. I mean, and then Gabrielle Ruiz. I mean, it's been
full name.
Gabrielle Ruiz. She's not Gabrielle.
TV's
definitely
Gabrielle
Ruiz. But I don't know. It does seem kind of odd, but it's also like, this is the kind of age we're living in now, where, you know, that's and again, to the fans, like, if you love musicals and you want to do it on TV or in a movie, like, that's the kind of content that's being made. And I'm just glad that I kept pursuing it and following it and auditions and just keeping that passion alive, because it's also just super fun. Like, I've been taking Kat's class, and I actually work out like every day at 10 a.m. and do Qigong and take about 3 or 4 dance classes a week, because I want to keep that energy moving. It's also just a great way to keep from crying and dealing with all the other crazy turbulent stuff going on in the world. So it's like a little happy pill that makes you sweat and makes your body hurt. Dance is great.
It's so great you're doing that. I do literally none of that, and it looks like it. Pete, Gabrielle, and Vinny, I'm curious. On the show, when was the time that you were doing a dance number that you felt like, oh, that person has my back? That you felt maybe insecure? Like, for instance, mine is like in Horny Angry Tango. That was actually, I think, one of the hardest numbers I ever did, because partner dancing and tango dancing, it's a whole other dance that I'd never done. I'm not like a dancer with a capital D to begin with, but like the fact that Scott was there, Scott had never done it either, but he was just so confident. Like, he was such an anchor in that moment. In addition to, of course, Ms. Catherine Burns. Like, what was that for you guys?
Definitely the Triceratops ballet for me. I hadn't put on pointe shoes for about 10 years. I don't know. It was a long time. The last time I had pointe shoes was for Radio City auditions, like in 2008. And I just remember Catherine texted me, and she's like, hey, we're going to do a ballet. And this was like maybe 4 weeks before we actually started, which means you guys were probably in pre-production by then. And I was like, I got to get my ass back into class. So like, I took ballet class, and I tried doing like a double pirouette in my 30s. Is not the same as your 20s. It's not the same. And Vinny had my back the whole time. And as well as our stand-ins, if you can give those names, Kat, who our stand-ins were.
Yeah.
He was in Frozen.
Yes.
He played
Andrew Perozzi.
Andrew Perozzi was, and they are like phenomenal, advanced, like magazine cover ballet dancers, and they were just
Kylie Shea.
And if you guys can find them on their social medias, it's amazing. And they were teaching us, and we were able to do it on television, and as well as like Tommy Marquez and the hair and makeup team, Kimber Blake. I mean, everybody kept us feeling good, looking good, and it was a long day in pointe shoes, and I haven't done that in a while. So.
But just so you know, Gabrielle said, I want to do it in pointe shoes. And I was like,
well, and you said you don't have to. And I was like, no, you have to. Like Balanchine would roll over in his grave if I did.
I was like, oh, she did in regular ballet shoes? Okay.
See?
I could have hired someone off the street.
Yeah, and I just got promoted to series regular. I had to show up, you know?
Yeah.
Vinny, what was that for you?
Oh gosh, I mean, ballet was, I think, my hardest number, Gabrielle. I mean, I hurt my back was injured from that number for 2 weeks.
Oh, my toe was bruised for years after that.
Yeah. It just because what I think they don't know out what I think they don't know out there is that we did it all day. Like that number was shot all day. So, and imagine having a Triceratops, aka Rachel Bloom, sitting on top of you at the end with your heart beating, which was actually the best part because I got to play dead and have my eyes closed.
Yeah, to rest. Yeah.
But there was like blood pouring into your eyeballs at one point, right? Like because she was holding your beating heart. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen.
Yeah, it smelled like peanut butter and food coloring. No, but to answer your question, I think I felt that numerous times that people had my back because, like Gabrielle said, like you guys, we had this amazing crew. We had the best makeup artists and costume crew and set, and it was just really everyone working together so that we could just do our thing. And it just felt like fun. And even though it was really challenging and painful at times, but I think because we had fun and because Kat and Rach and Aline, like we always had the executive producers there who were laughing with us and who were taking care of us and who had our backs. So, yeah.
And I have to say, like a fun behind the scenes detail about the Triceratops ballet, I'm going back to for one more second, even Rachel and Aline and Kat in post-production took care of us because you guys basically chiseled us out and got rid of that entire psych in the background because the psych wasn't doing it on stage. And you basically like per frame by frame cut us out to make us look even better. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a bad moment. I don't want to.
But I have to say, like, you could have just cut the number or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not Rachel. I don't know the details. Okay. All I know to say is thank you.
You're welcome. So I don't want to throw. I don't actually know who to throw under the bus for this. I'll throw myself under the bus. So first of all, the number was never going to be cut because my whole life had always wanted to do a drug trip dream ballet, like an actual dream ballet inspired by my own bad mushroom trip in college. Which when you're someone who like doesn't do a lot of substances and then you do like mushrooms one time and you're like, I had a crazy trip. You're like, this will inspire my art for years.
Right.
Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
No.
Right. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs unless you like want to be cool.
No.
Rachel Bloom.
Especially in quarantine.
She's a mother. She can joke about these things now. She's a mom. She gets it.
I'm kidding. Please don't sue me. Please don't sue me.
Please don't make a hashtag.
We're doing so good.
Please don't cancel me.
Is that number called Villain in My Own Story, the Triceratops ballet?
No.
What was it called? Because I remember showing a clip of it last time.
It's called Triceratops ballet.
There weren't a lot of lyrics to it.
There's no lyrics. It's just purely dance.
But we could hear Adam narrating it on the track, which was really cool.
Demo.
I should pull that up. But what I was going to say was really quickly, we were doing this dream ballet. We wanted it to be like an Oklahoma dream ballet. RNH, please don't sue me for saying that we had something inspired by Oklahoma. Okay, just like be cool. So we got a painted theater site that was reminiscent of the like Lori Dream Ballet from Oklahoma, and it came out like it was just like wrinkled, and it was it. I think it came in from a company, and it wasn't what we thought it was going to be. And so what we did in post was we rotoscoped all of the dancers, mainly Gabrielle and Vinny, out, which is where you literally frame by frame hand cut or cut them out.
That's love right there.
And put them in front of a new background to make it look good, because I was never going to cut that number. The work that Gabrielle and Vinny did was so good. And every single episode of the show, every single musical number, behind every great moment of triumph, there were probably like 5 to 10 seeming at the time disasters. And that's for every department, right? Every department, they see something as a potential crisis or disaster. And that's what happens when you're working with people on such a high level. Yeah. Pete, who had your back during a particularly hard moment of dance?
Oh my God! Well, let's see. Every single one of them.
I know this answer.
Hard moment in dance, but like Kat Burns always had my back and would always give me the steps a couple of days before or the day before, kind of like going like, "This is something you might come across." So that was very helpful. And then she would do these great videos, and then my wife would cut them down into 5-second intervals, and I would learn them in the 5-second intervals. I think California Christmas Time was the hardest one because I was responsible with, the whole cast, and I couldn't be the lame-o. But of course, being Daryl, I could always be the lame-o, which was a blessing. But many times, I would really say that everybody helped me at one time or another. Vinny, when Kat was busy, because Kat usually on set was very busy with a lot of other things, and Vinny would always take time, and also Vinny would kind of put it into cookie jar language just for me, that he'd be like, it's like having a spoon in your butt, and you just kind of stick it in there. I'd be like, oh, I get that. That's perfect. No, it's true.
What dance
my New
was
York
that?
training. My New York training.
What dance move is that? The spoon in the butt
move?
swirl.
Without love, you could save the world. Maybe that works there.
I'm doing it right now.
I mean, you also
spoon in your butt.
A cup of coffee, and you've got a spoon in your butt, and you're.
I really understand it. I understand
Right?
it.
I think I'm doing it too. I think let's all do it.
Seth, James, get in.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And cut.
You also.
Sorry, I was going to say on that note, but Kat, please.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Pete was also doubling the most Broadway dancer of all dancers in our cast, Mr. David Hole, ladies and gentlemen. So he had a very strong partner, and I think David's done the most Broadway shows out of anyone.
Well, he'll be
Donna Lynne.
he'll be coming up in a few, and then you can ask him about
dancer tracks at least.
Credits.
Yes, but here's the good news, Vinny. Look what's trending. Look what
all these fans.
Broadway. I'd love to. I mean, oh man, it's the dream.
Aww.
It's the dream.
It'll happen, bud.
Well, Rachel, do you want to go to the next section? We could be on this one forever, but I feel like.
I know. So we brought Pete on. So Pete, you're going to stay on. You want to get a little closer to the mic, bud?
Oh, am I not?
It's just very faint. Oh yeah, wait, get a little closer like that.
I just want to say the chat room is on fire right now on the YouTube. So thank you everybody for coming.
Oh my gosh. How do you on YouTube right now instead of on the app?
No, I have my app. I have my iPad in front of me right here.
She has a whole system in front of her that we can't see. Probably.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, we're gonna peace out.
Wow.
We're now gonna say goodbye to Gabrielle, Kat, and Vinny. We're gonna keep with my.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a good show.
Oh, wait, Vinny, before you go, I sent you donations to read. Check your damn phone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh,
fast.
yes, I got it.
Okay, go.
I got it. Okay, ready? Okay, cool. So you guys, hi. Alicia from Orlando, thank you, $20. Colleen from Boston, $10. Rewatching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend has helped me so much after long shifts as a nurse during this pandemic. Thank you, Rachel and the team, for 4 seasons of excellence. Thank you, Colleen. That's very sweet. Amanda from Washington, $51. Thank you so much for creating Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. The hilarity, humanity, and love have gotten me through some tough times and helped me accept and love myself. Yeah, Amanda. Sorry, I'm just feeling it, Amanda.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ryan and Becca from New York, $25. Went to Radio City Performance. Thanks, dudes. Thank you. Rachel, 25. Good name. A message for Skylar. I hate everything but you. Thank you for being our season 4 Greg. You are the absolute best. And pardon my pronunciation, Julene from Atlanta, Georgia, $25. Leah from Florida, $20. She says, I carry a piece of the show wherever I go. Any cactus I see will forever be a sexy fashion cactus. You hear that, Rach? Thank you for making this show. Thank you, Leah. And thanks for everyone who is donating. We love you, fans. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching. And
thank you, Vinny. Bye. All right, Rachel, who's coming on next? We'll bring them on.
I'm going to bring on a fun crew. I was like, how do we break up this day? Who's going to be fun? Who's like friends? Who talks a lot in real life? So I'm going to bring on, you know her as Paula Proctor, but I know her as her real name, Donna Champlin. Come on down.
Donna Lynne.
Hi, Donna Lynne.
That's one of the best introductions I've ever gotten. Thank you, Rachel.
Great. You know him as a man who can't make his wife come, but I know him as a man who doesn't have a wife. Please welcome Michael McMillan.
Poor Michael.
That's 2 slams in 1 introduction. I appreciate it, Rachel. Nothing but the best.
That's Donna's fault anyway. She should have tried harder. All right, who's next?
And finally, you know him as a guy who didn't want to be a lawyer, and he's not. Please welcome Burl Moseley.
Hold on. I think we got an empty couch. Hold on.
Whoa, hey. No, I'm here. Sorry, guys. I was just doing some drugs. Rachel said it was cool to do drugs, so I thought I'd try it. Hey, yo.
Busted. That's hilarious. It's so literal and so immediate. Like 5 minutes later.
That's
I'm gonna start sending donations. You check.
Okay, Rachel, take it away while we get you donations. More donations going here.
Guys, how you doing?
Good. We miss you. I miss everybody.
Yeah, I miss you guys too. This is the first human contact I've had in a week, at least.
It's very good to see Michael's face. We've been chatting a bunch over text, and we haven't gotten to get together and play some video games, but I miss you.
Make it happen.
Good to see you. Yeah, I miss you.
What video games do you guys play?
He's all up on Battlefront. I'm all up on Apex, and we're trying to find a happy middle ground.
We're trying to find the place where we can come together virtually.
That's hilarious.
Why do you guys think I put you all in this group together?
Because we're clearly the coolest. I believe I sent everyone in this group an email earlier today that no one responded to. My feelings are hurt.
I was scared of responding to that email and then outing you that you said we were the best group. So I just let it sit there. I was afraid I was going to reply to everybody and somehow we would have inadvertently dissed everybody else.
No, I didn't even get the email, so I don't even know if I was on it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Poor Burl.
It's the coolest group, I'm pretty sure.
Hip hop kids. Does that help my sound? I heard.
I need to stop smiling so much.
Wait a minute. Turn it upside down, Pete. That was working.
Is that good?
That's actually a little better.
There it is. There it is.
Michael, I introduced you in a kind of neggy way, and I don't know why. It's just
the truth. It's just the truth, Rachel. We're all living our truth right now in quarantine, and I have to live mine.
You had sent a text that it was like, you were like, I miss filming so much, I would gladly film a White Feather conference room scene right now. Yeah. Those are the hardest days on. So for those of you who don't know, like filming, whenever you film a scene where everyone's around a table, it's the worst day because you have to repeat the scene, but you have to get my point of view of Michael's point of view of me. You have to get all these different shots and it's the same scene over and over. Did you find that, what were the hardest types of days on set for all of you?
But wait, the fact though that in season 4 you remedied 2 major problems. One was the conference table in White Feather. You completely obliterated it, moved it out into the center of the room. Season 4, and then also you got rid of the donut shop because we were right directly in line of the Berkeley airport, and so that's the wine bar. You literally
right, the donut place, right.
And they were great. We saved so much time after you did that. They were awesome decisions.
I didn't.
Remember that? There would be like sirens going off, and then there.
Oh my God, dogs barking, playing.
All those cars pulling up to the adult video store
in the corner. Yeah.
And also all of the fans who were gawking at the set, and we were like, "Oh, are you here for us?" They're like, "No, we're here for Sons of Anarchy."
It's like, this is where they shot it. We're huge fans.
What a heartbreaking migration to pull up and discover a musical theater cast instead of a bunch of motorcycles.
That's great.
Gang members.
Great.
Our dance studio had remnants of a blood splatter on the ceiling. Do you remember that from Sons of Anarchy? And we never cleaned it up, and I kind of love that about us.
You're right, we never cleaned the
I just feel like, cool.
Huh.
Still there.
Something must have really exploded to go hit the ceiling.
Probably some period sex.
Mm-hmm.
And brings it back.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd say the conference rooms were there. It was always fun shooting the White Feather stuff, but those conference room scenes just technically were always very tedious. Just I
enjoyed them a bunch just because the chairs were so big and comfy. Like in between setups, I was literally just like this. And they'd be like, all right, bro, we're ready for you. Oh, great. Here we go.
You're just
I love the conference room. We used to do
sleep
bits for
upright?
hours.
Yeah.
Sleep
up
bits
right.
after bits after bits, and then we do some scenes.
Lots of doodling in the notepads that we were given by Manuel, our props guy.
Yeah.
Lots of doodling, lots of like trying to come up with bits or inside jokes. I remember, Rachel, there was I think it was season 3 when you come back and you were in that white dress and you had a bunch of cleavage. And I was playing a thing where the whole scene, Tim was just staring at her boobs. And I was doing it for like a good hour before you looked over at me and you were like, are you staring at my boobs? And I'm like, yes, I've been doing that this whole time. And then, of course, like when you edited the scene, it didn't read at all. It just looked like my eyeline was off. So there was like a whole gag where Tim couldn't keep his eyes off her boobs that like never made it to the show.
I remember that day very well because
gags of yours that we like tried. And like there was one where because we're like there was one where like people were like doing this, looking at someone, and then you went slowly. It had nothing to do with the scene, and I was like, that was one of my editing notes. I was like, I remember Michael having like a button. Can we put that on? It's like it just has nothing to do with the plot.
No.
The scene it takes up a solid 20 seconds.
Yep, that's my job. I come in and I make it about myself, and it never makes it to air.
That's not true. I remember a certain James and the Giant Peach Halloween costume that was brilliant. And I don't think there was a lot of reaction shots on me for that scene because I never kept a straight face once during that whole scene. I was just laughing at Michael in that big, huge peach costume.
Do you remember the worm pen that Manuel added that looked like a dick? So Aline made us remove it because it looked too phallic. She's like, what is, literally no one said anything. She walked up to me, picked it up and said, what is this? And Manuel was like, it's a worm. She's like, lose it. She's like, we got to lose this.
It's got to go. It's got to go.
Loved the phallic stuff though. He actually, during first penis I saw, he brought me on the set and specifically pointed out, Manuel's watching, by the way. Hi, Manuel.
Hey, Manuel.
You also know Manuel from check out the blooper reels. He's in every blooper reel.
He pointed out the most perfectly phallic vegetables that he had picked out at the market, and he was so proud. And honestly, I was so proud of him too. It was really, it was really kind of amazing. But actually, Manuel seriously is like one of the best prop masters in
you
the.
Guys,
he's
have you ever talked about the toad?
Pete, tell us about the toad.
What about the toad? The toad was if you ever did anything really stupid on set, like if you broke something, like I had an iPhone for my character and I dropped it in like the first 10 seconds, and you get to wear the toad, and it was a crushed toad that he had laminated, and then he would give it to you and he would take a picture of you, and there was a wall where they would put you on the wall of shame, basically, where everybody was on the toad, the toad wall, and it was awesome, and we did it for 4 years, didn't we?
I'm very proud to say that I never got the toad.
What?
No, really?
No, never got the toad.
That
was, you were napping between setups, and you got it all out.
That was the person that went back to actually worked with Manuel on True Blood, and I think the toad was found on the True Blood set, and that's where it started, and it's carried
literal
through
roadkill.
So the toad goes with Manuel from show to show.
From show to show.
Mm-hmm. Jon, I know that you're a huge fan of True Blood, and I know that like when you first met, because Manuel had worked on True Blood with Michael, and when you first met Michael, you were starstruck because he's one of the stars of True Blood. Is there anything that like, because you guys are now like such close friends, is there anything you'd like to ask Michael about the filming of True Blood?
I mean, that I haven't already.
You've already asked him all.
I think I've asked Michael quite a bit about True Blood, but one of my favorite questions that was asked and answered was, tell me again about the teeth.
Oh, right. The teeth is a big thing. She wanted to know if the teeth were mechanical or whatever, and they were just basically prosthetics, ceramic prosthetics that when we would film, every time the vampires would bare their fangs, you'd hear a click and they'd pop out. And really what we were just doing was going, and then makeup would rush over and we'd put it in our thing, and they go, okay, go. And he'd just go, and then they would just do it all in post. But people used to be like, is there like an elaborate contraption that fits in your mouth?
Yep.
So no, just movie magic.
That's a classic Power Rangers move right there.
Michael. I was. And then like after 10 minutes, we decided that we were literally like siblings on another plane. And we were like,
best friends.
Oh, we're brother and sister. Got it. Okay.
Hey, Donna, Lynne, will you check your email? Because, we're trying to get to $500,000 and we have so many donations.
That's right. Don't forget, everyone. We have a matching donation tonight. $1 for $1 is matched
Cindy.
tonight. Tonight.
Is matching.
Did you text me or email me?
I emailed you.
Uh-oh.
I know. And by the way, just FYI, both Donna, Lynne, and I are still on AOL, and we will not take any judgment.
I will never leave. I will never leave.
Why should we have to?
Of course, then I have problems like this where I'm like,
oh, it doesn't load. No, that's the fun part of it. It takes like 20 minutes to load email.
But wait, can I say that Burl is still using his NYU.com?
Wait, Burl, really? Wait, NYU.
Look. They said you get an email for life, and I said, well, I'm not dead yet. I'm gonna keep it. Keep it going. Let's just roll with it. Just keep it going.
It's like at NYU.edu. It's so.
Oh God! If I get a bunch of emails from strangers,
it'll be Rachel.
I didn't say your username.
I don't have it either on my computer or my phone. Are you sure you sent it to me?
Private chat me your phone number. For some reason, I can't find your phone number on my cell phone.
I'm putting it on the side here.
Did you send it to Donna Murphy instead?
Oh, damn it.
That's an area code, Donna Lynne. It's not
Can I just say, my kid put in a 12-hour day for like remote learning from like 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. And I love all of you so much, but I'm ready to throw this computer out the window. I'm just ready to grab it and just throw it in the trash. It's no long day for mommy.
Okay,
oh my gosh. Okay.
Wait, Rob Marshall has the same beginning as your phone number. Name drop.
Did you text him by accident? Tell him I said, hey.
Hey. Okay.
He's still living at your place?
Mm-hmm. We went to college together. We're like this.
It's donnalynn.champlin at carnegiemellon.edu, right?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, I just texted you. I hope to God it went through.
there are like so many ad-lib stories that I want to tell, but I can't because they have such foul language in them.
Yes, you can.
Can we curse?
Can I say it? Can I say it?
Tell a story before I name some donations?
Yeah. Wait, before or after?
Go tell your story.
Okay. So
Curse it up.
I think this was season 1. There was a time when Rachel's on set and we were just chilling and you know shooting the stuff, and she came up to me and she was like being like a real like bro-y guy, and she's like, hey man, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you remember that? And she was like, hey, how you like your pussy, man? I like my pussy all day. How you like your pussy? How you like your pussy, Burl? And I said, I like my pussy hard. And she said, I don't think you understand how pussy works. We all started cracking up.
Listen, I was very young. I didn't understand
And I was like, oh, we really do that.
for being a boss man. I was 27 years old, and that was a joke. Yeah, it was my impression of how guys talk.
We had HR on speed dial for all 4 years, Rachel.
That was always the best, is when Rachel would do a filthy bit and then she'd be like, wait a minute, I'm actually your boss. I'm actually your boss.
Yeah, she's like, hold on.
Guys,
Burl, don't contact HR.
I'm actually your boss. I'm sorry.
Please don't contact HR over this exchange.
Okay. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yes, focus.
Focus. Aaron from California, $25. Cheryl Ann from Massachusetts, $15. Such a massive fan of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. The show has meant so much to me, especially in its portrayals of mental illness, and I listen to all the amazing songs basically on a loop. Sarah from Baltimore, $25. Love this show and the cast so much. As a dancer myself, I'm loving this dance segment. Lily from Tennessee, $5. Thank you so much to the cast for helping me with my anxiety and OCD, especially during the pandemic and me starting my first year of high school. Oh, honey, you are such an inspiration. Rachel Bloom, and I hope I can be like you someday. Maha from Australia, $5. Hi from Sydney. Absolutely loved Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and it was really special fun seeing the Filipino representation. Karen from Buffalo, $20. Thank you so much for giving us a show with amazing diversity, LGBTQ plus representation, and a real and raw look into mental illness. Sheila from Virginia, $51. Thank you, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, for giving me something wonderful to distract me from the everyday horrors. What a tremendous show and cast. Bravi, everybody. Thank you so much for your donation.
Thank you, guys.
So we actually, we got to move on to the next section. As much as I'd love to stay with all four of you, Pete, Donna, Lynne, Michael, Burl, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Mwah.
Of course.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Love you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Burl.
That was so fun. Oh my
So
gosh.
hard to say goodbye. That's why I wanted everyone on at once, but it's a cacophony. Okay, I'm gonna bring on this next crew. Is crazy. You know what? I'm just gonna have them all come on at once. I'm not even gonna say their names. I'm gonna have them say their own names.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. How embarrassing. I was massaging my back.
So fake.
Really good bit, Eric.
Yeah.
Your hair is awesome.
Do you like the rebrand?
Incredible.
Wow.
Hey,
It's
everybody
courtesy of Vella. Actually, she bought me the pattern hair care beauty products to do my curls.
Giddy.
Speaking of Vella, happy birthday, Vella.
Oh no, it was a few days ago.
Yeah, it was a few days ago, but that's still, we're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it. Rachel, I was so hoping, Rachel, you were going to tell us why we were all a group, but then you just said, here they all come.
There's no theme.
No rhyme or reason. Just we're here.
But we're
I was
here.
like, these people get along really well. And
Hey, we have a lot of radio listeners. Can everybody say who you are and who you play on the show?
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Happy to.
Erick Lopez, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Erick Lopez here. I played Hector on the show.
I'm Clark Moore, and I played AJ.
I'm Vella Lovell, and I was going to say, and I played Hector on the show. I played Heather.
And I'm David Hull. I played White Josh.
David Hull, everybody.
David,
Thank you.
Oh.
Wait, first things we have to discuss. I thought the mustache was an anomaly in the last show. Now it's like forever. We're having that mustache. It's committed.
Buddy, it's not going anywhere.
Just want to confirm that with you.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, it's here to stay.
We got a soul patch too.
Yeah,
now.
it's a little gross.
Yeah.
I've been pretty busy. I watched 2 entire seasons of Survivor in the last 48 hours, so I haven't had much time.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. It was a real nail biter. I truly just found out who won season 7 about 8 minutes before you turned this on. So I haven't quite come back around yet. I'm not
Covered? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite here with you guys yet. It was not what I expected.
Hot takes on season 7.
Shout out to season 7 Survivor.
What season are they on right now?
33 or something?
Like,
I don't know, like 2005.
2008.
Yeah. You need to join, David. You need to apply and
I'm
get on
ready. No,
Survivor.
I'm ready. I'm confident
Okay.
that I could make it to the final 2. I'm confident. I could definitely at least make it to jury. I know I could.
I bet you.
David, have you been watching that show Alone on Netflix? Anyone watching that?
I heard about it.
What is that?
David, it's so your thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're probably really well.
It's been a show for a while, but Netflix is airing it for the first time. It's people are dropped in the wilderness like alone, and they're only allowed to bring 10 things, and the last person left survives. This is exactly what you said.
Yes.
I bet.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But they're dropped in the middle. This time they're dropped in the middle of the Arctic.
Wow.
And
I've never been.
They're all
Yeah, let's all go.
they're all like survivalist experts, but something tells me if you could be dropped there with nothing and you'd somehow win, it's like, I don't know, I just hung out.
It would either be that or I would die inside the first 36 hours. Probably that. Probably the latter.
Worth the risk.
I have been watching
the world's toughest race on Amazon. The endurance racing. It's like an amazing race, but you don't sleep for 9 straight days. It's great.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Got a lot more Rex if you guys want to talk recommendations.
I'll be watching too.
I'm deep into Big Brother this season too.
Anything from the last couple of years? No.
Big Brother is happening right now. It's All Stars.
Oh, it is.
And
It's
it is
actually
bad.
live feed on CBS All Access as we speak.
You are right now?
No, you are.
Oh, it has been on intermittently because this week is a mess, you guys. Yeah. I'm really rooting for Davon and Kevin, but they do not get good reads. They do not have the right information, but I want them to.
I feel like you have a podcast just like of you, just giving all
bad.
these reviews.
It's a
Reality
lonely man
TV show.
sitting at home.
It's another podcast. We've been trying to help David brainstorm podcast ideas.
Rachel, I wrote the first episode this week.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Coming along.
Oh my God, that's great.
I do, and Dave's on my podcast.
Clark's podcast is
Sensual Sounds of David Hull.
Yeah, that resonant bass. It's just sort of gets you in the mood for healing, you know?
Yeah.
Clark, what's your podcast called? Where can people check it out?
It's called Soul Balm by Clark Moore, and it's everywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Yeah.
Listen, Eric and Vella and Clark and David, we're talking so much, not because we don't love the recommendations, David Hall, but the donations have been coming in.
I thought that's why you had us on.
Yeah, just for things to watch.
Well, we do appreciate it. But no, the donations are coming in so fast. Some of you put your phone number in the chat so we can send them to you.
Yeah.
We've literally gotten like 4 batches of donations.
Natalie, $5. Every week I am stuck in jury duty, and every week I have Burl singing "Don't Be a Lawyer" stuck in my head. Thank you for the best years of my life watching the show. Oh, the are yet to come. Adam from Massachusetts, $10. Andrea from Arizona, $100. Faye from Virginia, $50. Gareth from Virginia, $50. Christine from California, thank you so much for creating the show to not only shed light on such relevant issues, but also introduce us to such incredible performers. $50. Thank you. Matthew from California, $103. Woo! And Julia from Wisconsin, she gave a whopping amount. I'll tell you what you said first. Thank you to Seth and James for all the hard work on the show. It has been a source of comfort through this time and been something I know I can look forward to each day. Tonight was a perfect night to donate, as Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is one of my favorite shows. Thank you, everyone. She gave $1,236.
Holy wow. Our fans got money. Okay.
That's like 30 times high, right? 1,236. Any Jews in the house?
No.
All right, David Hall, I just texted you some.
Okay.
While we're on a roll here.
I know David Hull's like not Jewish, but one of the most treasured moments of of my past trip to New York, which was when we performed at Radio City, was when we ate at my husband's grandfather owned a Jewish deli called Eisenberg's, which you can still go to. And we ate at Eisenberg's with David and his very not Jewish parents.
Very goyish.
And it was,
what did you guys get?
We got whatever was recommended. It was like there was a pressed sandwich, and a soup of some kind, and like a very old-fashioned soda jerk type drink. I don't remember what it was.
We got Lime Ricky's.
Lime Ricky's. There it is.
Love those.
I do have some donations here.
Yeah, no, we sent you recommendations, not donations. Just a couple of good shows.
Oh, recommendations.
20-year-old seasons of reality TV recommendations. Thank you. Robin from New York has given $25. He says, Seth and James, thank you for always brightening our nights. Kevin from Connecticut, $50. Bravo to you both and all involved in the original Sideshow production. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Jimmy Wesley. I knew it. James and I had a big fight. I said there are two that just came in. It's like, that's literally from our Sideshow reunion from 3 weeks ago. And he gave me such attitude.
I was like, I'm not sure how that's relevant, but I'm sure I didn't see the production. I'm sure it was gorgeous.
Okay, but hold on.
So David Hold, we're gonna resend.
Yeah, we're gonna resend. Continue with your recommendations.
That wasn't our donations at all.
I like how Rachel doesn't even have questions for us based on the show because this is such a ragtag team of people.
We never even worked together.
But you guys are doing fine.
Yeah.
Look, we got donations for the sideshow cast, so we are.
Yeah, we got it.
In that.
Yeah, that's.
I will ask something. Hey, Rachel Bloom, people keep saying thank you so much for having so much diversity on your show. Was that something you thought of, like that was important to you? Like, how did it sort of happen? Because there was so much diversity in so many different ways.
Yeah. So I would say, like, because we set the show in West Covina, something that was very important to us, and this is something Aline really spearheaded, was staying true to the demographics of West Covina. And really what we wanted to do was show what California actually is. Like, usually when you see California portrayed, it's either super rich people in Beverly Hills, because that's who's creating television shows, or it's the beach, or it's this kind of like, I don't know, it's all of the like extremes of what California is. And I wanted to show what I know California more to be from growing up here, which is like inland suburbs that happen to also be very diverse, like people from all sorts of cultural backgrounds. And it's kind of something, at least when I was growing up here, that you didn't even like think about. And West Covina was, I think the demographics, I could be wrong about this, but I think it's 50% Hispanic Latinx, 25% Asian American, 5% African American, 1.5% Native American. Anyway, so we did our best. We tried to stay true to people there, and that was also just more interesting stories. Like when so the opposite character of this character, Rebecca Bunch, was going to be a bro, was going to be a kind of dopey ditzy bro with a heart of gold, because that's the opposite of her. And we've seen that character a lot. I've seen like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, like a surfer bro, right? But what have we not seen? What's a new, interesting, but also true to life twist? Well, a bro who's also Asian, and that's a really SoCal thing. That's a real world thing that we hadn't really seen on TV before. And so we just tried to be reflective of the community that we were portraying.
I feel like you guys were very intentional as well, which I think just like speaks to what you guys were trying to do. Like, I don't think I don't think it was an accident, you know, like you guys were very intentional, I think, which I think you kind of have to be as like an ally in this world right now. Like you kind of have to like put that at the forefront, you know, which you guys did.
Yeah, well, there was an interesting, and Vella, you can speak to this, because there was the storyline that we did about Heather getting like being in a diversity program. This was the part of the season where I was not in the writer's room at all. Like basically episodes 6 through 10 of any given season, I was on set and editing. And so I know that can you talk about the writers had brought you in to ask you about your own experiences, and they kind of crafted that storyline based on interviewing you?
Yeah. I mean, it was cool because I got to go into the writer's room and just kind of, it's like specifically, I think the scene with the character of Kevin, played by Johnny Ray Meeks, that was just kind of like, because I'm just a giant confusion of ethnicities on my face. So they were like, what was great was like, they weren't trying to kind of like put me in any kind of a box. It was very much like, what is your experience and what is something that's like authentic to you that would actually be real? Like, I think from the beginning, Aline and Rachel were very much like, this character is you. So like, what's your specific story, and like something that actually would happen to you, which like, I get where are you from? No, but like, where are you from? Like, I get that a lot. So that was so cool that I got to like, actually, I mean, it was slightly, you know, like, I was like, is it like when we were shooting the scene, I was like, this is my real life. So that was intense, but it was cool that I got to bring myself to like, truly myself to the part and to the show, which was awesome.
And what about the LGBTQ plus aspect of the show? Did you want that, Rachel?
What?
Did you request that? Like, or did it just happen organically?
It happened it started with Daryl. And because we knew what we wanted to do, because Daryl was such a, we wanted to create these characters who at their face seemed like almost who seemed like archetypes, be it sitcom archetypes or musical theater archetypes. And then we wanted to go deeper into like the nuances of who they really are, because people, when you actually get to know them, aren't one thing or another thing. They're a bunch of things. And so with Daryl being this kind of almost Michael Scott like boss, we always knew there was a deep sadness. And we always knew there was something about himself that he hadn't reconciled. And I think it was for Celine that was like, what if he's bi? And not gay, because he'd been married to a woman, and I think I'd seen stories of people kind of saying, you know what, I was gay the whole time, but someone coming to terms with being bi, and that actually is, to be a man who's bisexual, that is one of the most like nuanced identities, because it's like we said in the song Getting By, which was written by Adam and written after talking to a rep at GLAAD. Okay, what do people say to guys, to anyone when they come out as bi, but especially to guys? And it's like, you're just gay. Like bi is just a pit stop on the way to Gay Town or whatever. And so he went from being this kind of like archetype to this really interesting, to having this like really interesting nuanced part of himself that he was kind of figuring it out as we were. And then I think it was just about being like reflective of the world. Like when we were casting the part of AJ, we specifically wanted to cast people who were in the LGBTQ plus community, just to be representative of the world.
And that's what I loved about AJ too, was that his story is so, like, it was very clear from the beginning that this was a character who is from the LGBT community, who is, representative of that space, but it wasn't about trauma. It wasn't about like stressful identity. This is a fully realized queer adult person living in the world just like everybody else. And I thought that was one of the beautiful things about the role, getting to play that, not having to play the coming out to my parents story, which is interesting and important, but also like there are other things that we as LGBT people experience in life. And one of the things that was funny for me, when sort of like coming into the show, one of the first musical numbers that we did was Group Mind. And I remember talking to Aline sort of like on the side while we were shooting it. And I was sort of like, yeah, what's the thought process behind this song, just out of curiosity? And she was like, well, because we have these two characters who, like Daryl and White Josh, who like don't really make sense dating each other, but because they are, the fans are like, yes, of course they have to be together. They must get married. It makes sense. And as a fan of the show, before I was on the show, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I am rooting for this couple, even though it makes no sense for them to be together. I was like, yeah, of course they should be together. And so I loved like the awareness of that, and how like so much of that comes from the fact that we have so few opportunities for representation on television, that whatever we get, we're so, it's precious. It's really important.
Mm-hmm. And also to that point, White Josh had the same kind of introduction that was non-archetypal. There wasn't a big saga. There was no like heavy tone. It was like, this is something about me, and everyone knows about it and loves it about me. And that's the end of the story. There was no heavy drama. It was introduced in a really, as far as TV goes, kind of non-traditional way. And I feel like breaking those archetypes became a big pattern on the show.
I have to credit just Aline, because she's not here, and the writers, that I think that those decisions to have people, when we dealt with issues of identity and someone saying this is who I am, my tendencies, something I learned a lot on this show was how to do things in kind of a roundabout way and not be as on the nose. Right. And I learned a lot from Lynne and all of the rest of the writers about how to do that. And that specifically with when Valencia started dating a woman, when I was like, I'm gay, and when Daryl came out as bi, and then of course the storyline with Heather, I thought that was going to be a lot more like on the nose message. Yeah, and I think it's because I come from like a sketch background where sometimes I will paint with these like broad I'll paint with these broad strokes because that's just like my background. And I learned a lot about subverting expectations, especially like when you have a storyline that like has something that there's like a quote unquote message behind that, how to do it in a way that doesn't seem heavy handed. Right.
Well, then it just ends up becoming part of the story as opposed to, like this is a gay character or a Black character, and that's the most important thing about them. It's like it's an aspect of them, and that informs their lives and their decisions, and that's informing this story, but it's not the whole story, And I thought that was really, very subversive of you guys, and very, I don't think you find it a lot. So,
well, how do you how there aren't a ton of auditions happening right now, but do you feel like there's been a change in, I don't know, in the past few months as someone who's white, I feel like there is a change in the industry happening, but I'm not one to talk does it seem like there is like fundamental change happening as far as like wanting to be reflective of what the world actually is?
I think you still have the kind of same stereotypical things out there. It is less, but you're still going to have that. It's probably going to take another decade or generation, for us to kind of get away from that, because there's still, as far as what I'm seeing and the roles that still go out, there's still very much Latino characters. They want the soldiers, they want the gang members, they want like the rough past, they want the the gay character that's the Latino, so it's like there's a lot of those kind of stereotypes that I still see, instead of it just being like, hey, this is just a boyfriend that happens to be Latino, or this happens, this is just a son that happens to be Latino.
Yeah, it's incremental for sure, but it kind of goes back to what Vella was saying about you guys, Rachel, which is that if you have people in positions of power who understand why it's important, not just, okay, here's the list of identities we need to check. Yeah, because that's the other thing. There's plenty of productions I'm also seeing now where the conversation isn't how do we tell the most interesting stories inside out. It's like, okay, we have a Black one, we need a gay one, we need a Latino one. Like quite literally, those are the conversations they're having. And that's coming from a great place, of course, but that is just another manifestation of systemic racism. And so I think if people at the top have the opportunity to change in the room, then we'll sort of see that trickle down effect. But structurally, the people who get access to those rooms tend to be people who have histories or experience, and who are the people who tend to have that access. It kind of like feeds on itself. So I do see incremental for sure. And like year over year, there's growth in the number of opportunities. But it's very much like targeting those top positions that we need to do to get the change to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric with a K, I texted you some donations.
All right.
I'm hoping these are not from Sideshow or something.
Alice Ripley is wonderful.
I have two different texts. One is an image and one is just like a list. Which one should I read?
Read the image.
Read the image.
Read the image.
I'd like for you to read the image aloud.
Okay. Well, there's like a screenshot,
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
You're the right place.
There's another text message that went through that was just like a list of names. Oh wait, this is the hit list.
That's
okay,
Sideshow.
That's Sideshow. That's Norm Lewis.
All right. So here we go. Kimberly from Illinois, $25. We love you so much, Rach. You have made my life better by being in this world. Emoji, the love icons, the little love hearts, and the little, that one. Sharon says, in memory of Adam, $60. Very sweet. And Lauren from New Jersey, $10. Thank you so much for these live streams and supporting those who cannot support themselves during these times. Alicia from Orlando donated $20. Lori donated $25 from Yonkers. Katrina from Rochester, $20. Thank you for this beautiful show that means so much to so many. In memory of Adam. And I love that. I love that people are putting in memory about him. That's great. And then from Rock and Tigger Lily in Austin, Texas, very cool names, at $25. Thank you for doing another reunion show. Hope there's a third.
Well, and David, I just sent you some donations that just came in.
Wow.
If you could do those along with all your Broadway credits, we'd really appreciate that.
And also, please act out the emojis like Eric did.
You did end up reading an image aloud. You did exactly what I asked.
Yep.
Does it begin with Lewis from Washington, D.C.?
Hold on.
Oh, no, I got a new one.
Okay, got it.
From Jace in Virginia, thank you so much for creating such an amazing show. You're welcome. I am planning to make my senior film thesis about why Crazy Ex-Girlfriend handles the topic of mental illness so well. Last fall, I had a horrible off-campus experience, but the show helped get me through it for $15. Thank you. Katie from Pennsylvania, also $15. Nicole, $25. Colleen from Massachusetts gave $51. Very specific number. I like it. Stina from Washington. I love Stina, shortening Christina to Stina. It's one of my faves. From Washington for $25. Noelle from Quebec for $18. Lisa from Oregon, $25. Ashley and Shirley from Pennsylvania, $15. Hi, Seth and James. This is Caroline from Alabama. Crazy Ex impacted me so much and means so much to me these recent years. Thank you, Rachel, for creating a space where girls can talk about all their bodily functions, including period sex, in such an open and positive way. Also, thank you for creating my newfound love for Santino Fontana, Donna Lynne Champlin, and musical theater in general. Thank you, $25.
And David, I sent you one more thing.
Oh my gosh.
He sent me a spoiler for the winner of season 1, which I won't read aloud.
Oh my
Really?
God! No.
Okay.
Oh, that's diabolical.
Actually, I worked at a theme park when Survivor season 1 came out, and it was owned by Paramount, who was owned by Viacom, runs CBS, and had Survivor, and so they did a tour of the winner, and so I actually met the winner of Survivor season 1.
Wow!
How's about that?
Wasn't a spoiler.
All right, so everyone, before we bring on our last section of the evening,
We don't want this to keep going.
We can keep going.
Every time we have to move on to more people, it kills me.
I know, Rachel. That's why I'm being the bad guy here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially this group.
I really wanted David to talk about his Broadway credits.
So we have big news from the Actors Fund. We have just passed the $508,000 mark.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
I love
That's
that.
really cool.
That's incredible.
So thank you, everyone. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. That's
Thank you,
amazing.
man.
Thanks, guys.
And our dog's happy. All right, Clark, thank you so much. I'm going to say goodbye. Vella, David, and Eric. Rachel, isn't that incredible? Can you believe that?
How much? 508?
508,000.
That's so much. Well, maybe we'll get to high after this final segment, because I like to call this High Holidays Jew Corner with Dan Wallace, Esther Povitsky, and Skylar Astin.
All right, hold on.
Hello.
Yay!
It's happening.
Listen, not
We've
been
backstage for years. Hey.
Skylar led a million years ago when we could be in rooms together. I had a lovely birthday party at a restaurant, and my husband surprised me by hiring a klezmer band, and they played Hava Nagila, and Skylar led the hora.
I was like, you have to do a horror. Yeah, it was very fun. Esther, you look beautiful.
I have an insane face, and I'm sorry. Thank you, though. I
like
will
it.
graciously appreciate that you're not scared.
Far from it.
Thank you. How
I
are you
love
guys?
everything you've been doing on Instagram with your Christina Aguilera wig is great.
I've lost my mind.
Sure.
I need a stage.
So
Danny
right
look beautiful too. Danny, you look beautiful.
No, stop. It's not important.
Dave, are you at your parents' house right
Oh, Rachel, I'm all over the world. It's been a journey. I'll tell you all about it some other time, but we are on the East Coast living our best life.
now? Okay.
long build up for nothing. Okay, wonderful. And Skylar, you're in Vancouver, am I right?
I'm in the Couve. Yeah, it's we're in Vancouver.
Oh,
Are you shooting?
We are shooting.
Wow.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. I did a scene with Alex Newell just a few hours ago.
Oh,
we love Alex.
Get on here.
And by the way, just so people know, just because so many young people are watching, I just want to say quickly,
yes,
Skylar is able to shoot because here's the deal. You take a test. If you're negative, you have to quarantine for 14 days because you can be negative, but you can be infected with COVID, meaning you can get infected, still test negative, and then suddenly you can transition and start spreading the virus. So you can't test negative and go, I'm fine, because you can literally have it in your body. So you have to test, quarantine for 14 days, then test again. But the whole thing about I do a temperature check or I'm negative, none of that means anything. So really, always wear a mask because you literally have no idea if you're infected.
Skylar, what is it like filming right now? Because we are, without getting political here, we see some images on TV that people are getting together and not have masks. I have a feeling that's not your situation.
No, it is a very serious and slightly sterile environment. We get tested every day. It's going to become 3 times a week. Also, Vancouver is doing a little bit better, but again, we had to hardcore quarantine and we wear masks. Today was actually our first day of filming, and it was bizarre. I'm wearing a mask and a face shield and then taking it off to act, and I'm only allowed to touch my own props, which is great for a theater person. I had a lot of easier adjustments because I am in charge of all my stuff, and I know what that's like.
But are you able to just go they have you at a hotel, I assume, right?
Well, no.
No,
So when I first got here, I had to find my own situation for 14 days, can't leave. And you could just have to figure out how to get groceries sent to you, which we had someone to do that. And then once we're released into Canada, we're basically Canadian and we just wear masks and abide by the rules. And it's a little bit more open here, but we're really discouraged from doing anything outside of being in our apartments and showing up to work and staying safe.
But when you go out, you're wearing masks.
Is there anyone you're seeing okay, we're in are you potted up with anyone in Canada right now?
No, I mean, the good news is that we are allowed to hang out with our own cast members. It's called Zone A. So we're because we will have masks on and be doing scenes and we're tested crazily. And so we can't, Crazy X was the coolest hang you could ever imagine. We were so close with every single crew member, and it's unfortunate, but we're not allowed to talk to anyone but very essential people. And it's interesting, but we're making it work because we're trying to deliver the content. There's a lineup.
Because the TV show is called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, by the way, for people who don't know. I just want to say that.
But it's true. Skylar, because Dr. LaPook was on. He's on almost every night. Right. And when we were celebrating our 200th episode last week, he was saying how in April, when things were as bad as hopefully they will ever get in New York, right. And he was on a COVID ward, everyone around him, patients coughing, were positive, but he had an N95 mask. He was obviously inside, and he never tested positive. That's how important the masks are.
Wow.
In every single way. It's a no-brainer. I don't know why it's still even a conversation, but since it is a conversation, wear a mask.
And just FYI, wearing a mask protects other people from you giving it to them. If you want to protect yourself, you've got to get one of those filters that go inside the mask. What's the filter called, honey?
We have the
P25, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
We got it right here.
Also they have KN95s on Amazon right now. It's $30 for 10 of them, which compared to an N95, which is $2,000 for an N95. The KN95 I've read is pretty much the same as the N95. It's just not the American standard per se or something.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Danny, what's it like in your neighborhood? Are people unmasked or masked?
So I went from LA to New York, and everybody wears masks. It's so, I don't want to be upset, but it's so obvious. Everybody should be wearing a mask. If you're not, you're just being difficult. Everybody's being really good. And by the way, I will give New York City credit. They come at you hard when you show up. We drove from California to New York, and they made us sign it. We had to stay for 14 days. They texted me every day.
Wow.
Said, yeah, New York City ain't messing around.
Or drove in?
We drove in. We drove across the country.
So they stopped you at the New York City border, New York State border?
No, so that's if I were to be critical of New York, they didn't stop us, and we had no clue we were supposed to do this. But we were being smart anyway. My girlfriend and I have taken COVID very seriously from the beginning, and so after 5 days of being here, we went and got tested. And when we got tested, the lady was like, "You should be checked in with the government." We were like, "What are you talking about?" And then we went home. We were like, "Oh, we're criminals." And so we filled out a form that we were supposed to have filled out. And they called us the next day, and they were like, "You're being safe?" They're like, "Yep." They're like, "Do you have any symptoms?" I was like, "No." They're like, "Well, you're gonna have a text message every day, and don't leave your house." And it's like, and it was great. I thought it was really wonderful, and we did what we were told to do. And now we're New Yorkers.
How long are you going to be in New York?
You know, we're going to be here for about a week more, and then we're going to go down to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. If anybody wants to join me on the sweet, sweet beaches of Rehoboth for the Jollis family vacation, then I'll be back up in New York until I have anything to do ever again. Until then,
you're just like, wait, you brought the dog, right?
I got the dog right next to me.
Oh, where's Harper?
Can you show the world Harper, please?
If everybody wants to see Harper, this is your time to shine.
Danny,
hey, Harper, we love.
Come here, you. Harper's heavy.
Oh my gosh.
He's waving hello.
Hi,
Harper. Find your light. Find it.
Sweet.
We have a lot of great pets. We have Skylar has that squirrel.
I got a squirrel. I got someone looking after the squirrel. You joke, but that's better. Yeah.
Skylar's squirrel is one of the best stories to happen during quarantine. Of many sad ones. Skylar, if I may tell the story from my perspective, Skylar was left alone in his house, and in a what I would describe as Cinderella-esque fashion, became friends with the local animals because he had no human contact, and literally became friends with a couple squirrels. I've seen it in person. He was able to pet these wild squirrels.
What? Yeah.
He knows them by name. He knows what they do. It is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Literally a human Cinderella.
Well, it's actually really interesting because Danny had seen it happen, and he's like, "Well, this is just wild." And when he actually saw it in person on my deck, he was like, "They're so much more majestical in person." He really there's one Maxine, and I could literally just grab her and Max on deck on Instagram, you guys. Max on deck.
Oh my God.
I'm looking up right now. Hey, by the way, since this is the Jew corner, the high holidays are coming up. Does anybody have any Rosh Hashanah plans? What's happening, people? Queen Esther?
Queen Esther.
Thank you for the shout out. No, I don't have any plans. My fiance, we always like to go to Boston, and I just don't think that's the move this time. But
what about your mama?
She's my mom. What about her?
Well, didn't she live in LA? I mean, or
No, my family is all in Chicago. I'm potted up with a bunch of crazy female comedians, so I'm happy to just be in a little pod. I barely.
Wait, you're in a comedian pod?
It's me and Whitney Cummings and Andy Letterman. We get tested and we're potting, and I'll occasionally dip in and see my fiance, but
it's really just jokes and chicks for now.
Yeah, my career completely went away. I don't know if you guys have heard of stand-up comedy. It's gone.
It's dead. It's a dead art form.
Gone forever. So I'm going crazy. But I do want to share something with you guys because I've been thinking of you because this quarantine, somebody started on antidepressants. And they're so not a big deal.
So not a big deal.
So not a big deal. Love them. Perfect. Found the perfect fit. And I want to thank you. I want to thank my own castmates and show creator for normalizing it and making me feel okay about it. So
yay! That makes me so happy. Which one are you on?
I'm on Lexapro. It's a fit.
Heard of it.
We're doing
I've heard
great.
very good things.
You're hilarious. Skylar Lipstein, I sent you some donations to read pre Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, great. Okay. Anuradha for $25 said,
I thought you were about to do Hebrew.
Me too.
Like Anuradha.
Okay, Anuradha, Alvinu, Malkenu. She said, thank you all for making me laugh and sing from season 1, episode 1. I've been such a fan of the show from the beginning. Christine from Tennessee, $25. Jennifer from California, $25. Ben from New York, thank you so much for your brilliant show. You've all brought so much light to my life and to others. $100.
Hey, let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
New year. You guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. This is the longest Stars in the House we've ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, I realized I left Gregor out there with the baby. I don't know what's happening.
You know what's the worst thing is that there's the perfect ending to this, but we can't do it because Danny's not home. And you don't have your shofar with you.
I know. I thought about it going into it. I was like, I have a shofar. I used to play the shofar as a kid.
And you can play the shofar.
He can hit that tequila.
It is a skill I still have, and I'm devastated to say I don't have a shofar.
Okay, so wait, what about if you just try to phonate with your mouth and I just call him out? Tequila.
Good.
Shavim Trua.
Beep, 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 beep.
Let's throw in another tequila.
Beep.
And just a quick note. Oh, what's the last one that's super long? How does it pronounce?
Tequila Gedola, right?
Tequila Gedola. Oh, he's riffing. Yes.
Thought it was gonna go longer.
They said it couldn't be done.
And it couldn't.
Rachel, is there anything we have not covered here, Madam Producer?
No, this is great. Check out Esther's special, Hot for My Name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great special.
It's a wonderful
Thanks,
special. Also, season 5, Rachel, make it happen in some capacity.
Yeah.
Kabir Akhtar, director, editor, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, said he'd give me $2 if I announce season 5. So I'm announcing season 5. Give me $2.
Damn,
Wow.
it's official. You heard it here first, folks, from an Emmy winner to an Emmy
I'm so glad, Skylar, it's so cool that you're back filming. It was so great to see you guys. Everyone stay safe. Happy Jewish New Year and Day of Repentance. Although I think God owes us.
I didn't have the ability to do anything bad this year.
Yeah. Right.
What can we do?
I have done nothing.
Yeah, I didn't clean my bathroom for a bit.
Yeah.
All fast. Yeah.
We'll have a part 3 because you guys always raise the most money. So Rachel, start planning.
Well, I guess when you have more details for season 5, how about that, Rachel?
Oh God, I just said I was a bit.
Oh, fans, get on it.
Fans, yell at her.
Do it.
You know what?
Harass
If we've
her.
learned anything in these last 6 months, anything is possible.
You're right. You know what? Who knows? And fans, feel free to dox me until it happens.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching and for getting us over the $500,000 mark.
Yay! Actors fun.
Amazing. Yes, actors fun. Seth, what are you going to play as we go out?
For all the Jews.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey!